Okay, so it's 30:30 and we're gonna watch a movie. Got some popcorn, some M&Ms, and some sweeties.
That was my popcorn. Lee chucked it onto the sofa.
I had some popcorn. I do have another bag. So, what movie we're watching, boys?
Super Mario Sonic Movie 3.
Sonic 3.
Super Sonic 3. Look at me. I love you, Mum.
Love you too.
I want to show you my t-shirt.
Sonic! Okay, Ben. Crocheting all the squares together. Does it look lovely?
Yeah.
Do you like the colours?
Yes.
When I've finished, that'll be a blanket we can use on the sofa. called?
Itsy Bitsy Kitsy Rescue.
Yeah, it's a Paw Patrol book, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I got it from the library.
Lovely. It was a warm, sunny day. Chase and Rubble were having a great time playing catch at the beach. Then they heard a far-off cry. Meow, meow. A kitten was clinging to a toy boat out in the water. Uh-oh, Rubble exclaimed. That little kitty is in trouble. We need to tell Ryder, Chase said. Everything's all right, he said, pulling a slimy piece of seaweed off the kitten. Are you listening?
Yeah?
Come on, focus. Let's take you back to dry land and get you cleaned up. Should I stop reading?
No!
Come in. Look. Come on. The moment she touched the water, she jumped away with a screech. I'm all fired up, Marshall said, as his fire truck screeched to a halt in front of the town hall.
I needed to touch your crochet to get this.
That's fine. Whenever you need us, Ryder said, just yelp
For help.
for help. The end. That's a good story, isn't it? Hmm.
This is going to be in my video now. Right, this is for me, not you crocheting, because I just turned it on, so it's me. So then, smash. This is my video, not your video. This is mine, because I turned it on. It's on. It's on, Mummy. Your phone's on. Fully completed it.
Well done.
I just did the spares on.
Okay, so I have one more row to complete.
One more row. That's
And
funny.
that is row 18. This is my last ever square to attach.
Your last ever square to attach. Did you do it?
That is all of my squares attached.
Wow, that is a lot of squares. How did you do that, all of them?
I know, took a lot of work. I just need to join in down this way now and seam in all my ends.
Yay!
Girl. So I've made a list of knitting patterns that I want to make, and there's quite a few considering I'm a beginner knitter. Yeah, not only did I do knitting, I did write a crochet list. It's obviously not as big as the knitting pattern, but we have some to go with. I have also gone through and wrote down how many skeins of yarn that I would need for these projects. So there are quite a few lot of 4-ply yarns. So yeah, we'll see where the inspiration takes me. Okay, so it's another day and I have some inspiration to make a asymmetric shawl I've started off by writing out the first couple of rows or so. I want it to be like a triangle like this, you know, where it starts really small and then goes large. Get some stripes in there maybe. Well, I say stripes, I'm going to use this yarn, so it's kind of colour changing. It's the one that I got from Wool Warehouse, the Stylecraft Cabaret DK yarn. So it recommends a size 4mm crochet hook. However, I think I'm going to size up and go with a 5, just because I don't want it to be like a chunky sort of fabric. I want it to be quite drapey, maybe. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I do like sparkles in there. I don't know how well you can see that. So let's do this. See how it turns out. So start with a slip knot, and I thought of just chaining 2 to create like a small hole. And then I'm going to do 3 double crochets in the second chain from the hook. Okay, so this is the setup, 3 double crochets into second chain from the hook. Yeah, I don't want it too chunky at the tip of the shawl. Chain 2 and turn, and then just double crochet in each of the stitch along. You okay, Bubs?
Can you make me some breakfast?
I've made you breakfast.
Lunch.
Yeah, just give me a second. Why is your hair a mess?
Because it's a mess. Look on the camera.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Okay, so on this third row, I think I'm going to increase. So I'm going to increase here on this side. Okay, so I've done some rows, and this is where I'm up to. So you can see there's a triangle forming. I think I'm happy with that. I do want to add some rows in there to give like a bit of a lacy look. This might just be like the setup of the corner bit of the shawl. So yeah, I'll see how far I get along, and I'll just add that into the pattern when I get there.
Ready to be where other people are.
Okay, so this is how far I've got. I've added a stitch marker where the increase row is, so I don't get confused. But yeah, I think that's looking really good. It starts with sort of double crochets with every other row increasing, and then I don't know how well you can see it, but you can see here where I've got some sort of lacy detail, and then this row here is some puff stitches, ever so small, so you can't really see them. And then I continued it with some more lacy detail, and then the pattern just repeats itself with the double crochet. So I think that's looking really good. It's increasing every other row, so it's kind of starting quite thin, so it'll have to be quite long to actually have, you know, quite a thick edge. But yeah, I think that's turning out how I wanted it, I think. I might try the pattern where I increase on every row, because I will be sort of twice as thick then at the end here if I was to increase it every row. It's a trial and error. I'm sort of swatching the pattern at the moment. So yeah, I'm writing it all down as I go. Keep a note of the stitch count, which I didn't quite do in my last pattern that I did. But yeah, I'm really pleased with that. And you can see the glitteriness. I can't wait until I get to this colour. It's sort of starting off with it's like a bit of a greeny, sort of dark teal sort of colour. But yeah, I really like this. Hopefully I can use the whole ball and see how far I get. But yeah, really pleased with that. Okay, so it is the next day and I have something to show you. So this is the pattern that I'm creating, and I'm loving how this yarn is actually working up. Love the sparkles, love the colours, you know, love the fade, but most importantly, I'm loving how the pattern's coming out. So yeah, I've added a bit more to it, and you can see the obvious pattern repeat. Well, I think you can. There's some double crochets here, and then here you have again double crochets, but you have a chain one in between to give it that lacy look. And then this one here is just a puff stitch. I think it shows up on better on the other side. Yeah, there you go. So I've also done a puff stitch here as well. So yeah, I'm now at the point to just continue with the double crochet stitches here. Yeah, I'm really liking how that's working up. It is starting quite thin and it does take some time to get wider. Only thing is that I have found is when it gets to this part in the pattern, it kind of pinches in a little bit here, but I guess if you blocked it, you know, that would come out straighter. I am really liking how that's turned out, and I think I will adjust the pattern again. I'll continue with this obviously, but I may adapt the pattern to just include an increase on both sides. At the moment the increase is only on every other row on the same side, but I may adapt the pattern to create another pattern so that it increases a little bit more rapidly, so that when I'm at this point in the pattern, if I increased on every row, it would potentially be double the width, if you get me. So yeah, that is how it's turning out, and I've got this much as a ball left. So yeah, I'll just continue, see how far I get. I have actually got 3 other balls in this colour, so who knows how big I can make it, because it is going to be like a bit of a shawl, maybe a scarf. You know, shawls and scarves are quite adaptable where you can use them in either way. So it's this length at the moment, so if I put it sort of mid-neck, you know, it comes down to like my belly. So yeah, that could make, you know, quite a cute sort of like neckerchief at the moment with the width that it is. But yeah, as I said, I'll continue with the pattern and see how far I get. So I have been writing down every stage of the pattern. So how the pattern is kind of laid out is that you've got rows 1 to 15 as like a setup row, and then it goes rows 16 to 30 as like the first repeat, and then from rows 31 to 45 is the second repeat. And so that is kind of how the pattern is continuing, because somewhere along the line, because you're obviously increasing on one row and then, you know, turning, the first and second repeat is just slightly different, where you don't necessarily increase on the same row as on like the first repeat to the second repeat, if that makes any sense. I think this is something that I will do a tutorial on. So yeah, like and subscribe if that's something you want to see. Yeah, most of the rows are very simple. It is just a double crochet stitch and then the odd row as a puff stitch row, which is going front post round the double crochet on the row below. But obviously if I do a tutorial, that will be made obvious as to how to do it. Another thing I've done this morning is I have gone through my Ravelry page and printed out all of the things that I want to create. This isn't the first sheet of paper. I've actually got several here. So there are 3 pages for knitting patterns and there's only 1 for crochet. So I will be going through and writing down exactly how many skeins of yarn is required for these patterns, and I will be taking this to the East Anglian Yarn Festival so that I'm buying with things in mind. Obviously I will not be buying yarn for every single one of these patterns because there's a lot and that would be a hell of a lot of money. I am sorry about the noise in the background. I'm doing my washing. Hang on a second. Okay, that's a bit better. Yeah, apologies for the noise in the previous clip. As I was saying, I think I will go through each of these patterns and choose like what I want to make. I know these are all on my list to make, but for the moment, when I go to the East Anglian Yarn Festival, I'll only choose like a few from each page, because how I've printed them out is I've printed out shawls and sort of like scarves, accessories if you like, and I will choose maybe a few from here because I know a few of these patterns only require one skein of 4-ply, so that's fairly inexpensive when you think about it. Whereas if I move on to this page, these are garments, so you know, jumpers and that sort of thing. So I will probably only be choosing one of these to go for because I think some of these require about, I want to say 4 or 5 skeins of yarn. So, you know, this is a little bit more of a splurge. So I'll only probably be choosing one of these jumpers to make. And then I have got a t-shirt in here as well. And I believe this only requires about 3 skeins of 4-ply. But yeah, anyway, I will write down exactly how many skeins of yarn that these patterns require. And I'll just go from there, you know, see where the inspiration takes me. And on this one, I've got more knitted sort of accessories, scarves, that sort of thing. And this is my only page of crochet items that I have on my list. Oh, excuse this one, that is a knitted one. So that is a knitted hat. There is a company called Knotted by Niche. And she, I believe this yarn here to create the ribbing is by her. So I think I want to make a whole hat out of this like really chunky sort of variegated yarn. So yeah, I quite like that look. I might not go for an extravagant pom-pom, but there is also a stall at the East Anglian Yarn Festival called the Crafty Bird. And I think she's renowned for selling pom-poms. So I might go to Knotted by Niche and choose a really nice yarn for the hat. And then I will go to the Crafty Bird to, you know, choose a coordinating pom-pom. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, Knotted by Niche, I believe she does sort of like the chunky merino wool in, you know, these sort of colours. That will obviously be for this winter, not for the current season because we're, dare I say it, getting a bit warmer. And yeah, as I said, the rest is crochet patterns. So a lot of these, like this one, this one, and this one, they all look very similar. This one to a certain extent, but yeah, we'll see. This one has quite a bit of detail in there. I might not get anything for those, but what I quite like is this one. I think this is a recently released pattern and it creates like a bit of a mermaid vibe, I guess. I might purchase a few skeins of yarn to create that because I believe that is all it takes. I think it's like 60 grams of DK in each colour. So I think that's a contender. And then there's a little sort of like triangle scarf, I guess. And I would probably just buy one colour of variegated yarn. I can't remember how many skeins this requires, but yeah, that might be a nice one to make as a crochet sort of accessory. But yeah, I've got quite a few projects in mind. So yeah, these are my knitting accessories. As I said, might choose a few of those to make. And then these are my knitted garments. Again, I will probably choose one to make, or maybe one jumper and one t-shirt. And then on here, I will definitely be making the knitted beanie. And then I think I will choose maybe just one accessory. We'll see. I have added these to my Ravelry store as favourites so that I can go in there and have a look, you know, see where the inspiration takes me and choose the yarn to coincide with these patterns so that I can make them. All I need to do now is get recommended needle sizes for the knitting patterns, and then yeah, I can just create. One of these garments requires Aran weight yarn or worsted weight yarn, and I think the pattern was made in Malabrigo, so I may potentially, it depends on the price, what they're selling it at, but I may potentially go to either Venetia's yarn shop at the stall at East Anglia, not the actual shop, and also there is another yarn store at the East Anglian Yarn Festival who I believe sell Malabrigo, and yeah, I may just get a sweater's quantity to make, I want to say it's this one that requires the worsted weight yarn or Aran weight yarn. But yeah, we'll see. I have done this to keep me organised basically because last year when I went to the East Anglian Yarn Festival, I was just buying skeins of yarn, you know, single skeins of yarn that looked pretty. You know, I didn't have anything in mind for them, and if I'm honest, most of the skeins are still upstairs. I have used several, but I did get quite a lot. I'm hoping by doing this, it keeps me organised to make purchases with patterns in mind. So yeah, we'll see. And I may potentially add to this list, who knows? You know, I'm constantly looking on Instagram and Ravelry, and yeah, the list is just getting longer and longer and longer. So yeah, I'll continue with this and see how far I get. I mean, I did most of this yesterday evening. It's working up quite quickly as well, because as I said, it's just double crochet stitch for most of it. And as I show you in yesterday's clip, I have added a stitch marker to the side where the increases are, so that when because obviously you work one row, turn your work, and then work another row, it's easy to see that stitch marker to know exactly where you are. I'm at the point where I know the pattern now, and I can see if I'm on the side where the stitch marker is, that I know that I need to add 2 double crochet into the first stitch, which is my increase. Let's get on with it. Coming along. Yeah, I've got a few sort of colour fades going on here, and I have this much left. So obviously I'm going to use it all, but yeah, this is how it's looking. I might add an extra ball in there because at the moment, if I wrap it round, I'd much rather it wrap around a couple of times maybe. But yeah, that's the progress anyway. As I said before, it's really easy. It's double crochet stitches with, you know, puff stitches every now and then. I mean, it's hardly a frequent repeat because you can see it here and then here and then here. So most of it is basically double crochets. So yeah, that is the progress. As I said before, I will make this into a tutorial at some point. So if that's something you want to see, don't forget to like and subscribe so you know when I post that sort of content. I think I'll sign off this weekly craft vlog, and I'll see you probably in my podcast episode, which will be next week. And I will be announcing the winner of the 500 subscriber giveaway. So if you haven't already watched that video, I will link it down below. And yeah, get your entries in if you want to be in a chance of winning. And I think what I'll do is I will write down all the names that's entered, put them in a hat and then pick it out that way. So yeah, I think that's the easiest way to do it. Anyway, thanks for watching and I will see you in my next video. Bye.